Good morning, everybody. For those who may not know me, my name is Katie Helwig. I run a business called Mild Red LLC. It's a kind of a boutique consulting firm helping clients maximize their contract vehicles, such as Oasis Plus. Today, we're going to talk about LinkedIn corporate etiquette. And I will tell you my story with LinkedIn started with, well, I'm not sure, Mark, I'm trying to figure out which came first, me reading the book and seeing your name and the new rules of marketing and PR by David Meerman Scott, or your conversation or presentation for LinkedIn, and then you mentioned the book. So I'm not quite sure, but it started back in 2015, and between the two, got me really excited. My role there at FCA was in corporate membership, and membership is going down, and we tried to figure out, my role was to increase membership and trying to figure out the old ways weren't working and how I was going to make my numbers, plain and simple. I found LinkedIn as a way of doing something a little bit differently that FCA has done before, and started engaging and creating my network and pretty much taking the 10 principles that Mark lays out in his training and put them to fine use. So the first step, again, if you haven't read the new rules of marketing PR, it's a good one. I really liked it. It's from a commercial perspective, and I think that's why they brought Mark in to do the GovCom perspective. And it's also an audiobook. But what it really demonstrated to me, it was the 5 key points for LinkedIn. And those are engaging directly with your customers, that opportunity, that content that you provide and share and like is crucial to building your brand, being authentic and being transparent. It shows up, you know, those who are saying or doing things that you just, it just doesn't hit you right. It shows through, and it can really ruin your personal brand. Listening to the market, meaning, you know, you can see the trends are going, but being fluid in your approach and your dynamics is important to see how the market is moving. I would say the most recent example is the increase in podcasts. I know Janet Waring started a podcast group because this market seems to be taking off. And then leveraging the social proof. I think those are the way I see it, the metrics, right? The metrics that you capture, the likes, the shares, the amount of views that you get. It's what works, what's responding, and kind of taking that information to heart and figuring out how you can do a rinse and repeat. I find the common pitfalls. One of the things that really resonated in the book with me is sometimes the clashes between sales and marketing in this respect. I went through it. I had a number to make, and our marketing department was not very comfortable having anything brand related outside or generated outside of the marketing department. So, and upper management wasn't all in, was very, like I said, old school. And so they didn't embrace the social media platform. And a lot of them come from a TS backgrounds, like, you don't talk about it. We have the brand will talk for us, stay off social media type of thing. So common pitfalls for companies is having overly restrictive policies. That can come from a lack of clarity and specificity of what you can do, what you can post. I think Sherry at one point, providing content for your employees to share so that you kind of bridge that gap. Ignoring employee privacy and rights. They have, is LinkedIn a corporate thing that a company can control? Or is it a personal opportunity in bridging those gaps and the right to voice your opinions? A failure to address evolving social media trends. Instagram, X / Twitter / whatever it is now, X, I guess. Kind of figure out where you need to move to see where your audience is going. Lack of enforcement and consistency. that is, that kind of goes through being authentic and transparent. If your message changes or your point of view, you one day you're Democrat, next day you're a Republican, you kind of lose your credibility there. Ignoring the rule of employee advocacy, reactive rather than proactive approach. So a lot of companies, ones, three that I went, they don't provide rules or policies, but they will reproach you if you put something out there that they didn't approve or they think goes beyond what their messaging is. And ignoring feedback from employees, the younger generation, saying, hey, this is where we are, this is where we meet, and those in charge kind of ignore the trends of the emerging professionals. So I think this one is the biggest one, I think. And we talk, and again, etiquette, maybe not, but for marketing and corporate policies to be created from fear rather than from strategy. And what I mean by that, afraid employee will be looking for a new job if they're on their social media platform for too long. Afraid the employee is growing their personal network to look for a new job. Afraid employee is able to represent the customer positively, and afraid the employee should be spending their time elsewhere, and afraid in taking a viewpoint or a stance on a policy or a way, to try to stay agnostic, and not taking a stand. So what the book helped me do too is really talked about changing a corporate culture, embracing LinkedIn, embracing social media as a way of promulgating your brand, your message, even your sales. It does have to come from the top, right? And part of it is encourage the employee advocacy to be able to be part of this. One of the companies I worked with, we had, in order to follow the company page, then for those who did it for that month, they did like a gift card pull of, for those who did the most likes or shares from the company page. So kind of rewarding them there. But more importantly is, training and education, get someone like a Mark Tower to come into your company as a whole and talk about LinkedIn, talk about how you can use it, how you can build your personal brand, how you can then promulgate your corporate brand, and how you use, how you leverage this tool to get your job done. And foster a culture of networking. How important networking is. It's all about people doing a business with people, and to have that upfront and personal. Again, I think our COVID and our lockdown realized that we are not necessarily need to accomplish that by one-on-ones and in person, although it's nice, that you can actually foster a nice network in people versus people in on social media as well. Secondly, or next, is the content sharing and thought leadership. Provide something of value that, provide something or write about things that make people learn something they may not know. Not in your face learning per se, but something that makes them want to follow you, wants to comment, wants to share, wants to download something that you've put together. Measure and reward your successes. Goes through the marketing KPIs, I guess, and, finding out the number of shares, number of views, number of likes, number of comments, however you feel that is, you want to measure. For me personally, for my last campaign or my current campaign for Oasis Plus, it's the number of sales. And they've been great. And it's been 100% LinkedIn. And I've been getting emails and mail information from LinkedIn messaging, getting sales calls, getting deals. And then align your company goals. It goes back to training and education, but know what you want to get from your LinkedIn, and set those goals and teach every single person in your company how they can apply those the tools to accomplish their piece of the goals.